Subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button to receive important financial updates faster than anybody else. Welcome to another video on your channel Profit and Equities. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 small cap stocks from Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's portfolio for the year 2019. Now friends, we also run a couple of very successful Telegram groups and channels where we have successfully outperformed the markets. If you want to go ahead and join our Telegram groups, please go ahead and open a completely free Demat and trading account through the link provided in the pinned comment or in the description of the video. With this, you will also be entitled to about Rs 28,000 worth of free subscriptions on sites such as Advisory Mandi, Tavaga and Dartstock. You can also become a channel member by clicking on the join button and following the steps, or become a patron on Patreon if YouTube membership and Upstocks account opening cannot be availed by you. The link for all of these options are provided in the description of the video. Please watch this video to know more about these stocks. Now the first company on the list is Ion Exchange India Limited, which is available at Rs 717.30 and the face value for it is 10. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 5.46%. The symbol for it is IONEXCHANG. Now Ion Exchange Limited is engaged in water and environment management business. The company offers products including ion exchange resins, water treatment plants and chemical additives. The company's segments are engineering, chemicals and consumer products. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company did absolutely nothing for about half of the year, but then had a vertical rise. Of late, however, it's been consolidating. The market cap of the company is 1052.04 crores, which means that this company is a small cap one. The EPS of 48.47 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 14.80, which is much more cheaper when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 20.31. The price to book ratio of 4.01 is however slightly on the higher side. The company has a dividend yield of 0.63%, whereas the promoter holding is below average and stands at 44.04%. Also, none of the promoters holding is pledged. Now the second stock on the list is Agrotech Foods Limited, which is available at Rs 487.30 and the face value for it is 10. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 7.50%. The symbol for it is ATFL. Now Agrotech Foods Limited is engaged in the business of marketing food and food ingredients to consumers and institutional customers. The company offers its products under various categories which include edible oils and sprays, snacks, soups, puddings and desserts, spreads and meal enhancers. The company's brands include Sundrop Oils, Act 2 Popcorn, Sundrop Peanut Butter, Crystal and Act 2 Nachos. Now looking at the 1-year chart, this company has not really created any major wealth for its shareholders and has generally had a negative bias throughout the year. The market cap of the company is 1187.51 crores, which means that this company is also a small cap one. The EPS of 14.12 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 34.51, which is much more expensive when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 7.50. The price to book ratio of 3.31 is also slightly on the higher side. The company has a dividend yield of 0.51%, whereas the promoter holding is just above average at 51.77%. Also, none of the promoters holding is pledged. Now the third company on the list is NCC Limited, which is available at Rs 60.60 and the face value for it is 2. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 9.86%. The symbol for it is NCC. Now NCC Limited is engaged in the construction and project activities in the infrastructure sector. The company is involved in the construction of industrial and commercial buildings, roads, bridges and flyovers, water supply and environment projects, housing, power transmission lines, irrigation and hydrothermal power projects, and also real estate development. Its geographical segments include India and outside India. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company was on a consistent uptrend till about the time of the elections, but after that a lot of contracts for this company were cancelled in Andhra Pradesh post the election results. This led to a massive fall. The market cap of the company is 3639.92 crores, which means that this company is a small cap one. The EPS of 9.17 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 6.61, which is dirt cheap when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 20.60. The price to book ratio of 0.75 is also very cheap. The company has also got a decent dividend yield of 2.48%, whereas promoter holding for this company is very low at 18.12%. Out of this, a whopping 42.72% is pledged. Now the fourth stock on the list is Deltapop Limited, which is available at rupees 188.20 and the face value for it is 1. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 7.38%. The symbol for it is DELTACORP. Now Deltapop Limited is a holding company engaged in the operation of casinos. Its segments include real estate, gaming, hospitality and others. The company operates its gaming and hospitality businesses under the Deltin brand and owns approximately 3 casinos in Goa, including Deltin Royal, Deltin JAQK, and Deltin Caravella. It also owns 2 hotels, including Deltin Suites and Deltin Palms in Goa. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company was on an uptrend for about 3/4 of the year, but since then has had a torrid time. Of late, however, it has broken out. The company is a borderline stock between a mid-cap and a small cap with a market capitalization of 5,099.06 crores. The EPS of 7.30 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 25.78, which is slightly cheaper when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 31.66. The price to book ratio of 2.61 is also not wildly expensive. The company has a dividend yield of 0.66%, whereas the promoter holding is on the lower side at 32.77%. Also, 6.08% of the promoter's holding is pledged. Now the next company on the list is Geojit Financial Services Limited, which is available at rupees 27.45 and the face value for it is 1. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 7.57%. The symbol for it is GEOJITFSL. Now Geojit Financial Services Limited is a retail financial services company. The company offers a portfolio of savings and investment solutions. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company has not really created any major wealth for its shareholders. The company is a tiny small cap with a market capitalization of 654.13 crores. The EPS of 1.09 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 25.18, which is slightly cheaper when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 30.52. The price to book ratio of 1.09 is also not wildly expensive. The company has a dividend yield of 3.64%, which is very good, whereas the promoter holding is an above average figure of 62.03%. None of the promoters holding in this company is pledged. Now the next company on the list is Rallis India Limited, which is available at rupees 174.90 and the face value for it is 1. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 9.25%. The symbol for it is RALLIS. Now, Rallis India Limited is engaged in the business of manufacturing and marketing of agri-inputs. The company has its manufacturing facilities in India and sells both in India and across the globe. The company's segments include agri-inputs and others. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company has also not created any major wealth for its shareholders and the trend has been consistently down. The market cap of the company is 3,401.26 crores, which means that this company is a small cap one. The EPS of 8.57 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 20.41, which is dirt cheap when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 40.45. The price to book ratio of 2.64 is also not wildly expensive. The company has a dividend yield of 1.43%, whereas the promoter holding is just about average at 50.09%. Also, none of the promoters holding for this company is pledged. Now the next company on the list is Orient Cement Limited, which is available at rupees 94.50 and the face value for it is 1. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 1.22%. The symbol for it is ORIENTCEM. Now Orient Cement Limited is an India-based company engaged in the manufacturing and sales of cement. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company was consolidating for the first few months of the year, then had a huge up move but could not sustain it. Of late, however, it has again started showing signs of an up move. The market cap of the company is 1,936.01 crores, which means that this company is also a small cap one. The EPS of 4.27 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 22.13, which is dirt cheap when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 34.16. The price to book ratio of 1.84 is also not wildly expensive. The company's dividend yield stands at 0.79%, whereas the promoter holding is a below average figure at 37.37%. Also 7.58% of the promoter's holding is pledged. Now the next company on the list is Infra Construction Limited, which is available at rupees 21.75 and the face value for it is 2. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 1.21%. The symbol for it is MANINFRA. Now Infra Construction Limited is a construction company engaged in the business of civil construction. Now, as is evident from the 1-year chart, this company consolidated for the first few months of the year, but since then has been on a downward spiral. The company has a market capitalization of 538.31 crores, which means that this company is a small cap one. The EPS of 0.84 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 25.89, which is slightly more expensive when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 20.60. The price to book ratio of 0.73 is however not widely expensive. The company has a very strong dividend yield of 5.79%, whereas the promoter holding is also a very strong number at 64.16%. Also, now the promoter's holding is pledged. Now the next company on the list is FirstSo Solutions Limited, which is available at rupees 53.40 and the face value for it is 10. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 3.25%. The symbol for it is FSL. Now FirstSo Solutions Limited is a provider of a range of business process management services across the customer life cycle delivered through transaction processing. Now looking at the 1-year chart, this company has largely been consolidating after a slow fall towards the initial part of the year. The market cap of the company is 3,701.39 crores, which means that this company is also a small cap one. The EPS of 5.49 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 9.73, which is much more cheaper when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 11.58. The price to book ratio of 1.37 is also not widely expensive. The company has a dividend yield of 3.75%, whereas the promoter holding is above average at 54.12%. Also, none of the promoters' holding is pledged. Now the last company on the list is the Vysya Bank Limited, which is available at rupees 56.05 and the face value for it is 2. The holding for Rakesh Jhunjhunwala in this particular company stands at 4.21%. The symbol for it is KARURVYSYA. Now the Vysya Bank Limited is an India-based banking company. The bank is engaged in providing banking and financial services, including commercial banking and treasury operations. The company is a small cap with a market capitalization of 4,480.19 crores. The EPS of 2.98 translates into a price to earnings ratio of 18.81, which is dirt cheap when compared with the industry price to earnings ratio of 33.29. The price to book ratio of 0.70 is also dirt cheap. The company has a dividend yield of 1.07%, whereas the promoter holding is almost non-existent at 2.10%. Additionally, 20.63% of the 2% that the promoter holds is pledged. Now friends, please don't consider these to be recommendations on our part. Please go ahead and do your own research. This and all of the content that you see on our channel is intended only to be a piece of news. Also friends, if you are benefited by the content that we produce on our channel, please don't forget to like these videos, share these videos, and if you have not already subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so.